by all indications, the finance minister came out and spoke to Times Now and said, by all indications, yes, there were disagreements, but they weren't big enough for the government to try and do anything that would undermine the interests of the RBI. That's what he came out and said. So one had presumed that these matters had been tided over. Now I'm only asking a small question, like the 4 justices of the Supreme Court who came out in the open and spoke up for the integrity of the Supreme Court and said that a certain individual might have been ululating the environment of the Supreme Court. Do you think Urjit Patel at least owed that to this country by coming out and saying, look, this is what is happening, this is why I'm going, be warned?
I'm again surprised, Rahul, that we are putting the onus on the man who's actually come out and done something to redeem himself.
Okay.
Urjit Patel carried the guilt of being complicit in the disaster called demonetization. Today, he has partly redeemed himself, and we are trying to shift the onus. And while I'm on it, I'm glad you remembered the Supreme Court judge's press conference as well. Tell me the last time there was a government in the country where the RBI government resigns in protest, where the Supreme Court judges come out and hold a press conference, later say that this was the CGI was being remote managed, where the CBI director goes to the Supreme Court, talks about political sensitive cases where pressure was being built, where the Information Commissioner says there's intimidation of the Information Commission. When was the last time something like this happened in this country?
Okay. Dr. Narendra Jadhav, would you like to respond?
Yes, I certainly would like to. There are a number of things that I want to say really. There are, first of all, let me say that this is not for the first time that the RBI governor has resigned because of the conflict with the government. Dr. Rama Rao resigned in the 50s, and there are other cases also. So that is first. Second, I disagree with what Yogendra Yadav is saying, that in the election year, our government wanted to make, transfer very large amount of funds from RBI to the government in the pre-election year, just before the election. That is also not true as far as I know. That is being contemplated, speculated, but that's not true. There are 5 reasons, in my opinion, why this has happened. It is certainly, I agree with the other 2, that this is not for personal reasons. There has been a debate on number of issues, and number of issues which were going to come up. The last time meeting, which was a long meeting, was a truce, uncomfortable truce, and the real issues were going to be debated in the meeting which is scheduled for 14th of December. And governor has resigned before that. So what are these issues? There are 5 issues in my opinion. First one is the relaxation of the norms of lending for the public sector banks which are under prompt corrective action. That is one. Second is a liquidity crisis with NBFCs. Third one is credit crunch with MSMEs. These 3 are reasons, but the most important 2 reasons is that one is the capital structure of the Reserve Bank of India, and the second one is the role of the RBI board. Let me elaborate on that. These are the real issues. First of all, as far as the reserves are concerned, RBI, and we are not talking about the foreign exchange reserves, we are talking about the internal reserves of the Reserve Bank of India. The internal reserves of Reserve Bank of India are more than 9 lakh crore. They are coming out of basically mainly because of 2 reasons. One is the valuation change in foreign exchange reserves and gold, and the second one is contingency reserves. So 9.2 lakh crore they are sitting on. Now nowhere it has been decided what is the optimal norm of reserves to the total assets.
Okay.
Today RBI has 28% of total assets as its reserves, which appears to be on high side.
Okay,
no, wait,
appears to be on the high side. Dr. Yadav.
Last meeting, 19...
One second, sir. Let's get the other side.
No, but there was a decision made. No, this was... Excuse me. Please allow me to finish. There was a decision made in the November 19 meeting to form a committee which will decide what is the optimal level of ratio reserves.
Okay.
And that is one issue. And the final, most important issue is the role of the board of RBI. Role of the board of the RBI traditionally has been only advisory.
Okay, advisory. Let me quickly get a response from the other side. Dr. Yadav,